Welcome back to Bruno Mode EX Plus. This is part 10 of the Bruno Mode EX Plus mod, the mod that makes the game much harder. I suggest you watch the previous parts first since most things are changed. Today, we are making a start on the Limbo page minigames. For those unaware, the Limbo page is a page of minigames usually hidden from players in the vanilla version of PvZ. They are only accessible via cheats but are all playable levels with objectives. Just like its predecessors in the Bruno Mode Extended Universe, this page is made unhidden. Most of these levels have also been changed to be wildly harder than their original counterparts, and I'm going to introduce a level that broke all records for the hardest level yet later today. The first level is Art Challenge Walnut. Instead of there being just bucket heads and cone heads, Bruno Mode EX Plus adds ladder zombies, bungee zombies, gargantuars, and jack-in-the-box zombies into this level. And pretty obviously, I think you can see what the objective to beating this level is. It's basically seeing stars but with a walnut. Thankfully, it is one of, if not the easiest levels of those that receives changes in this mod. Those additions in this level I just talked about, remember? Yeah, actually they are completely irrelevant. What I mean completely irrelevant? Well, we're never gonna see a single jack-in-the-box zombie as long as we beat the level before the first flag, which seems ridiculous, right? This is possible thanks to Walnut's cooldown reduction to 24 seconds. It is pretty easy to just imitate it and plant 12 of them pretty fast, and that will take less than 3 minutes to do. Meanwhile, you just repeatedly plant Blover to push back all the brown coats. It doesn't matter we don't kill them, since we can just win when we plant 12 walnuts. And yeah, without even planting a single attacking plant, we are able to get through this level with absolutely no problems at all. Up next is Sunny Day, which is another very easy level, so I'll just briefly go over it. It's a 4 flag level with buckethead zombies, pole vaulting zombies, jack-in-the-box zombies, and football zombies. The twist is, all Sun from the Sky is worth 50 instead of 25. The zombie density is left unchanged from normal levels, so the early game is understandably very easy as you are given additional sun to work with to plant all your instant kills. With extra sun from the sky, winter melons are very easy to afford out of the gate, and I also brought in Planturn to double the damage of our melon pults. I also brought in Magnashroom because, I had too many slots to use. As mentioned last video during Zombie Nimble Zombie Quick, 2 columns of winter melons with Planturn is more than enough to beat any density of zombies, as you can very clearly see right here. With this extremely easy level out of the way, let's move right on to the next level, which I think you might remember what it is. With the last 2 levels being free wins, the next level is not quite as easy. Our old friend Unsodded is back again. In Unsodded, we can only plant in the 3 middle rows, but zombies come from all 5 rows. This means we need to defend against zombies using plants that can deal with zombies not in their own rows. In this mod's predecessor, Bruno Mode EX, I said that the version of Unsodded was the hardest level in PvZ history, taking 10 hours to beat. Well, I retract that statement because this one is. This level also took me 10 hours to beat, but I would consider this version much harder by a sizable margin, and I will explain later how the identical playtimes might not be so identical. I first tried Gatling P because after all, it was Gatling P that allowed me to beat Unsodded in Bruno Mode EX. It receives the similar treatment Repeater did, now firing diagonally as well. These diagonal shots will be able to kill off zombies in the side rows, as you can see by it killing the basic zombie here. Not only that, I can still use Doomshroom, which is even more reliable than ever in the fact that it targets the whole screen now, which easily clears away any bucketheads on the side rows. However, this doesn't take into account of football zombies on the side rows. Previously not in Unsodded, football zombies pose an entirely new threat to us because of their high health and fast speed. It has the health of a Gargantuar, meaning it won't die to Doomshroom, making it no longer a board wipe here. And 1 football zombie on the side row is all it takes to bring the setup down. Cob Cannon is the next plant that comes into mind, so we can use more explosives on the football zombies, since it's more cost efficient to use cobs instead of imitating Doomshrooms for, mind you, a 4th flag level. However, the space restriction makes Cob Cannon rather awkward. With only 3 rows to plant on, our sun production operates at 60% of what it normally is. We can very easily get past the early game, but each Cob Cannon progressively gets harder and harder to plant because of us having to dig up sunflowers to make space for them. Meanwhile, the zombies that get sent in increase linearly, so it's not proportional to the rate we can plant down Cob Cannons to deal with them. The amount of sunflowers we have remaining is only 10, which is an abysmal amount considering we are trying to plant the most expensive plant in the game right now. That's why I have Doomshroom as well to help out on extra firepower when I'm not planting more Cop Cannons yet. And yes, even though I was able to afford my 4th Cop Cannon eventually, at what cost? I lost all my Tauntauds in the process, and now we have even less Sunflowers to work with. Target zombies are also here because obviously, Buckethead zombies, and it spawning a newspaper zombie marks the end. It needs 2 explosives to be killed, and we just don't have it. With space being a massive problem, Twin Sunflowers will have to come out and assist with this issue. I also brought in Ice Shroom since Wintermelon is impossible to afford anyways. However, the lack of sun later on didn't even come up as a problem because we had to deal with target zombie shenanigans first.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
2 Gargantuars before the first light even comes, and that's about all it takes to ruin the entire attempt right here. It's quite the task to deal with them with one singular Cop Cannon. These 2 Gargantuars got me having to use so much sun that should have been needed to be defend the early game, and not only that, I was still having to deal with everything else in the level. And right here, I learned my lesson about where to place Doomshroom in this level. Say hello to the Gatling Pea Zombie, which is also in this level. And this is why you can't plant Doomshrooms in the front because they will straight up just die. I was able to recuperate from this mess of a situation, albeit being much further behind than my previous run as I only have 2 Cop Cannons. I had more sun production to help catch up. Very quickly, I was able to blitz my way to the second flag with 3 Cop Cannons intact. For now. The next problem arises again with the Buckethead Gatling Pea Zombies. When in the unsodded lanes, it is extremely dangerous because it can just walk next to the Cop Cannon and shoot it down. We can't even use pumpkins to protect Cop Cannons. Cop Cannons certainly pack a punch but are completely indefensible, and that makes their price tag even more of a pain. With only 2 Cop Cannons left, this attempt is also completely lost. I tried the same strategy again, and it wasn't much more prettier than the last run. And again, the Buckethead Gatling Pea Zombies simply walked next to the Cop Cannon and shot it down. And with only 1 Cop Cannon left, this run is just hopeless and just a matter of time when the ship sinks. So after then, Doomshroom and Imitator Doomshroom seems like a pretty good solution, right? Cheaper and also doesn't need any protection from Gatling Pea Zombies. I mean, this has got to be the solution, right? 1,200 sun going into the second flag and we still have several of them planted in reserve. Plus, we don't even have to do any micromanagement now because it targets the entire screen for us. And well, that problem flew under the radar for me to realize. Nevertheless, I'm not going to let one little mishap that happened because of something unlucky to stop me from trying this again. I tried the Imitator Doomshroom strategy again, which worked for a while, and I even had several Doomshrooms stocked up in the back to help us deal with the football zombies. However, this strategy is quickly ruined after the second flag where football zombies or target zombies spawn basically every wave, requiring 2 Doomshrooms for every wave. Soon enough, I am just not able to catch up to the amount of football zombies getting sent, and that leads to my demise, even using the infamous Imitator Doomshroom strategy. Imitator Doomshroom, Gatling Pea, regular Cop Cannon strategies have all failed so far, so surely using Garlics to maximize sun production will work, right? Basically, copy the dumb strategy by using rows 2 and 4 only to push zombies to the side and the middle, allows to hoard a mass of sunflowers. This is actually extremely effective, as you can see. We already have 3 Cop Cannons going into the first flag, and we even have a 4th placed already very nicely after the first flag. At this rate, we're also affording a 5th Cop Cannon by the time the second flag is coming, and we are looking to be doing the best out of any strategy thus far, thanks to our efficient early game. 5 Cop Cannons. Surely this is enough to beat the level, right? Well, I'd be wrong. I highly underestimated the power of the target zombies in this level. Just look at how incredibly fast the integrity of our defense gets demolished within, what, 20 seconds? So the first one isn't that bad, but then in comes 2 more bungee ambushes, several pole vaulters, the ladder zombie, several other friends, a Doomshroom now. Okay, and then 2 more bungee ambushes. Oh hey look, a catapult zombie, several screen door zombies, and another flag zombie. And there goes all my sun, and there goes this entire setup. Time and time again, no matter what I try, target zombies are seemingly impossible to even defend because of how random they are and how simply stupid the things they can spawn are. And if they don't steamroll you in the early game, no matter how many Twin Sunflowers I can place down, really doesn't matter because after the second flag, there's just too many zombies. Buckethead Gatling P zombies are so oppressive, and basically no amount of tall nuts I can place down is actually stopping them from outright wiping out all my defensive plans. And even with 5 Cob Cannons, I just get completely wiped off existence. With Cob Cannon strategies failing time and time, I decided to ditch Cob Cannons to try and make a strategy using another plant that can target the side rows instead, Starfruit. I'll be honest, and the first time using it was rather disappointing, returning not much greater results than what was achieved using Cob Cannons with an astounding 1 Starfruit placed. I tried supporting Starfruits with Winter Melons as a means for it to do more damage. However, we don't have infinite seed slots, so quickly the problem devolved into not having an instant kill. Having 3 slots taken up for the attackers, I didn't reserve one for instant kill like Doomshroom, which meant that 1 football zombie in the side row was once again the cause of my loss. I tried Starfruit again, and it was just not a very good option early on, especially without many of them. Football zombies are just kind of impossible to kill with Starfruits. How about Gloomshroom? That definitely does enough damage. Plus, we can just use Madness Shroom to remove the football helmet off the football zombie to make it easy to kill. It's what live chat said before I reminded them that you can't remove the helmet anymore. I tried again with Winter Melons and Cob Cannons, still to no avail, especially because this setup just dies so quickly to the swarm of zombies after the second flag. There's just not even a chance we are even surviving right now. We haven't even seen the third flag yet, and we're supposed to survive for another 10 waves after that? Whatever I tried was just a failure. It boiled down to 3 things. Either you're dead to football zombies because of their high health, or you're dead to Buckethead Gatling P zombies. And if both of those are not a problem, then the amount of bunchy ambushes that will spawn because of the lack of footballs or Gatling P zombies will be the cause of the demise. At this point, I'm desperate, so I'm trying the last method of attacking in the unsoldered rows that I haven't tried yet, which is Free Peter. In comparison to Starfruit, Free Peters do significantly less in terms of cost efficiency per attack, but they have 100% uptime and always target the first zombie in the row. They actually did quite impressive for what I was expecting from them. At least the Free Peters actually managed to kill a football zombie, so it's at least better than Gatling P. Unfortunately, it just dies to a Buckethead Letterhead zombie right afterwards, so not much of an improvement. I tried Free Peter again. This time I elected to using Doomshroom instead of Torchwood and Cherry Bomb to help out the Free Peter in dealing with these side rows. Unfortunately, without Free Peters and a Planturn, they can't defend even a single football zombie, so we're going to have to find ways to get more of them into play to make this work. So what about Cob Cannon with Free Peter? A reusable instant kill against zombies to help lessen the amount of damage we need to do with Free Peter sounds reasonable. And in fact, it's quite reasonable. Just not as reasonable as stupid as this level is. Game decided to send all the football zombies into the top row for whatever reason here. At this point, I'm just restarting every game until I get a single Buckethead start, so I only need to spend 50 stun on a Potato Man on wave 1. Doing this will maximize the stun I can possibly get. And by restarting, I mean doing it repeatedly until the game sheds some luck on you, because even the restarting process takes a lot of time to get. In this case, I restarted the game 7 times before it gave me a single Buckethead zombie as the first wave of the level. With about 20 seconds before the first wave even comes, we're talking about at least 2 minutes of just restarting before we can even get to the real part of the level that we want to play. And after I got my solo Buckethead start, I got on my way to try this new loadout I came up with. Free Peter, Planturn as damage, while imitating Doomshroom as well as blocking Gatling P zombies using Walnuts and Tall Nuts. This was actually very successful. After the second flag came, we didn't get obliterated like every other time because we had 2 wall plants to help block off the Zombotany piece. And moreover, Free Peters proved to be very good because it was able to clean up the half-health football zombies post Doomshroom, reducing the instant kills we're using. And for the first time in more than 30 attempts, we finally managed to see the text announcing the 3rd flag of the level. Unfortunately, it's still a loss thanks to the target zombie spawning a newspaper zombie in the first row, which we could not stop. With that previous strategy working out so well, I immediately tried more variations of the loadout, now using Blover instead of Walnut to help out against target zombie spawns. Unfortunately, I was quickly reminded by the Buckethead Gatling P zombies why running Walnut allowed us to get the announcement off the 3rd flag. At this point, it had already been 4 hours and 20 minutes into the stream, so I decided not to give more attempts at Unsoldered because I was immensely tired by now. In fact, I got so tired playing this level, I literally forgot to turn off my stream after it ended, and I had people watch me play Marvel Snap in the dark for literally 30 minutes straight. I only realized the live stream didn't end when someone pinged me on Discord that I was still live. Certainly a moment that every streamer would have encountered before. But am I still live? Wait, what? Guys, no, you guys didn't hear anything. Next stream, I was back again to try and beat Unsoldered, but this time I had a strategy. One that I knew that would work. one that I saw on Bilibili, the Chinese version of YouTube. Someone there had managed to beat this using this loadout here. Sunflower, Twin Sunflower, Starfruit, Pumpkin, Umbrella Leaf, Lantern, Tonut, Cherry Bomb, Blover, and Potato Mine. Of course, when I saw that, I have to give this loadout a shot. The early game was actually pretty nice and easy with the Starfruits, but the problem was apparent immediately. Without enough Starfruits, it just isn't possible to deal enough damage against football zombies on the unsodded lanes. However, I wasn't going to let that stop us right here. I decided to keep going strong with this loadout that I knew was the solution to this terrible level, so I kept trying. Unfortunately, the game sometimes isn't so kind when it comes to Jack-in-the-Box Zombies RNG. So I tried again. This time, we did fine as I had managed to garner 8 Starfruits instead of 6 under a Planter this time, so I thought that was going to be enough to deal with the footballs. Unfortunately, 8 Starfruits under a Planter is barely not enough as the football zombie survives with its arm fallen off, meaning it is at critical HP where we can almost kill it. Just not quite easy for me to kill apparently. Next attempt, I was actually doing quite well and going strong. Not all my Tallnuts are quite dead, but my Starfruits are still protected because of the pumpkins I placed earlier. So I thought we were getting closer and closer to beating this level. That is, until of course the target zombie came along and dropped this on me. Catapult zombies, if you remember, have infinite HP until all their basketballs run out or we kill it with an instant kill. Unfortunately, my Cherry Bomb at this moment is on cooldown and very far from being back. So there's literally nothing I could do except watch it roll into my house as my hopes of even seeing the first flank get ruined again. If you thought that was a one-time offense, nope. Somehow, back-to-back runs in this level, I managed to get another Catapult Zombie. Thankfully, I had Cherry Bomb this time. The unfortunate part is that there was a football zombie on the top row and I couldn't stop it because I had to use the Cherry Bomb on the Catapult Zombie. And by this point, I think you get the memo. I have to keep trying this level until I was able to beat it with this loadout, and I was really not going to give up as I stayed strong and tried over and over again. I basically used this loadout for the rest of the stream, except for 5 attempts where I tried using Spike Wicket and Spike Rocket instead, which were foiled instantly by Jack-in-the-Box zombies. I tried over and over again with not much success to beat this hell of a level. Even with a loadout that I knew was capable of beating this level, I was not able to replicate the success. This setup is simply not reliable enough for a variety of reasons, including how the RNG of Jack-in-the-Box zombies simply ruins the setup a lot of the times, as well as target zombie spawns which can still land on the 9th column. And to no avail, I ended the stream without succeeding in trying to beat this stupid level with Starfruits. And yes, this stream was another 3-hour long stream, and the third flag hasn't even been seen yet. This amount of zombies is just purely ridiculous, and I don't even know what to say other than the level was designed in absolute hell. Okay, so 2 streams, and I still haven't beaten this level, so surely I will get this done in the third live stream of trying this, right? I don't know how, but I had the courage to somehow try this again with the same loadout that had failed me for 3 hours straight in the last stream. Yeah, not the foggiest idea I had yet. I'll just skip over the 20 minutes of time just wasted in trying a strategy that does not work. I tried literally everything that I thought of. Winter Melons of Gloom Shrooms. Unfortunately, I tested that and this combo just dies to Jack-in-the-Box zombies. Then, I tried imitating Ice Shroom for maximum stall to Doom Shroom everything all together. This strategy went straight to the ditch after a shovel zombie spawned from a target zombie, so yeah. I tried imitating Pumpkin instead of Tallnuts several times so we could have extra explosives to counter the hordes of zombies. Kind of makes sense against football zombies, right? These attempts were just futile because pumpkins were so much less cost efficient than Tallnuts. We had to replant pumpkins much more often, leading to less Starfruits. Walnuts are getting brought out. Literally every strategy you could think of, I've tried in this level, except for the working one. It is actually so frustrating that even after 3 streams, I'm still stuck. I got so mad on stream after another hour of trying to beat this level that I decided to quit trying to beat Unsodded and went over to play Big Time instead and ended the stream after that. Things were looking really bleak as I was on my 4th stream of trying to beat Unsodded, and somehow after more than 80 attempts on this level, there's still something I haven't tried. This is the combo between Free Peter and Starfruits. Now, at first, this sounds like a ridiculous combo, because what would be the purpose of running both simultaneously? Surely, we should just choose one of them and it will be enough, right? Now, that was where I was wrong. These 2 plants actually supplement each other much better than I expected originally. Starfruit, albeit doing very high damage at a very low cost, is not very reliable because its shots can only hit a certain area of the map that is predetermined by where it is planted. This makes them rather weak in the face of zombies like football zombies who can sneak past occasionally, causing those almost dead football zombies to need explosives to be answered. Free Peter is the direct opposite of that. Albeit having not much damage, Free Peters actually reliably hit the first zombie off the row as it is a straight shooters. Starfruits will help us chip down the massive health of football zombies but not kill them, which is where Free Peters come into the equation as it helps add reliable damage to the sides. Although this attempt has looked like a perfect run so far, unfortunately, one Ice Room Jack-in-the-Box zombie to mess up the timing of one Cherry Bomb was all that was needed to put an end to this run. I tried again with this fantastic strategy, and although not a perfect strategy, it was performing way better than just using Free Peters or Starfruits alone. With this setup, Jack-in-the-Box zombies actually don't explode up our walls very often thanks to Free Peters who are directly killing any zombies in the crowd. What it does not prevent, however, is still the problem of bucketed Gatling P zombies. We've solved the problem of football zombies and Jack-in-the-Box zombies, so it's a matter of finding an answer now. After resetting about 4 more times due to some chokes and also bad early game spawns, I landed on this loadout using Doomshroom instead of Cherry Bomb and Blover. And I did not know this at the time I started this run, but this was the last time I was going to press the restart button in the menu. Not because I'm not going to lose again. In fact, I will. But because this is the last iteration of the unsorted loadout before I pulled out the assisting tools to deal with this level. For the first time in Bruno Mode Extended Universe series, I decided to put an end to this endless restarting and pointless RNG fest that has been hindering our progress thus far. This is when I finally pulled out Safe Scumming as a way to beat this level. Now, of course, Safe Scumming would be completely unenjoyable to watch if I did that every single wave. So I made a ground rule that I was only going to make checkpoints before each flag to make it a reasonable viewing experience, and also easier for me to edit the video for you guys. So I made a safe state before the second flag and got on my way to be unsorted. Our first task is to just see the third flag because, yes, astonishingly, we still haven't even seen it yet. This setup right here is already the max setup to beat the level as we cannot put more attackers without risking losing too much sun that is needed to plant tall nuts and pumpkins. My strategy here is pretty simple, just let this roll by itself and the only micromanagement being planting the tall nuts and pumpkins. Until a pumpkin zombie shows up, there is no need to plant a Doomshroom quite just yet, because we want to reserve the Doomshroom to just kill the pumpkin zombie. This is quite obviously because they are the only reason we haven't been able to kill the football zombies in the side rows thus far, throughout this entire level since they're getting healed. With that pumpkin zombie out of the way, now unfortunately a Jack-in-the-Box zombie exploded quite abruptly in the midst of this, so I lost several Starfruits as well as all my other wall plants in this unfortunate sequence. However, I was able to recuperate as Doomshroom had already been off cooldown ready to be used. And as a miracle ensues, on my first try of using the safe state, I've made it to the third flag and actually see it with my own eyes for the first time in 10 hours of playing this level. I made a safe state right here to make sure that I have a checkpoint to return to, and now it appears that completing Unsorted was very near in sight. I quickly wall up my Starfruits to block off the Gatling P zombies, and we're only barely holding off the zombies here, scraping for every last inch of advantage. And after one desperation Doomshroom, it's pretty obvious that we don't have enough sun to recover from this mess, and it's yet another loss to Zombotany Ps. But it's fine, we can time travel back to the third flank here to attempt this once again. For those of you unfamiliar with Safe Scumming, the zombies that spawn post Safe Scumming remains the same, but we get a different attempt as they will spawn in different rows. This time, the Gatling P zombie was able to break through the tall nut in the middle row, so I was trying my best to stay alive, so I just used the Doomshroom out of instinct. Unfortunately, this caused several bungee ambushes to spawn, one of which spawns a catapult right on top of my umbrella leaf which completely destroyed the integrity of our defense. I reset again, and this time I Doomshroom as I tried to plant it again to stop a Gatling P zombie that has broke through in the fourth row this time, gets shot down before it exploded. After about 8 resets give or take, I figured that if I wanted to beat this level, I was going to have to get to the third flag with a better condition than just a barely standing wall of tall nuts. This was simply not going to cut it, so I time traveled back to the second flag again to attempt and play that section better than the first time. With this second attempt at the section post flag 2, again I let the setup roll itself, but this time I was more conscious with actively planting pumpkins to build a more integral defense. Right before a football can reach the end of the lawn, I managed to sneak in a Doomshroom in an empty row free, keeping us alive for a bit longer. But here comes trouble. Pumpkin Zombie in free rows means they can pretty much never be killed, except I actually used my brain this time and planted a pumpkin for its on-death explosion. And after that, it was smooth sailing. Not anything else posed as a threat to us as we simply Doomshroom again, and this is the last wave before the third flag. With much more stun to work with, as well as taunts in all 3 rows, this was a much more promising look to beating Unsalted finally after a treacherous journey. And indeed, this was going to be it, since I was able to plant pumpkins on top of my taunts to deal more damage to those hordes of zombies with the additional stun from playing better. As my defense gets fired down, it isn't looking great, but the extra pumpkins that I planted earlier from when I became more conscious of my pumpkin protection helps me stall just enough. These additional pumpkins were actually so game-changing it let me lose my frontline tallness and still not be completely dead, and allowed me to stall just a bit more until I could get my tallness back from recharge. I managed to get through all of that without losing a single attacking plant, and this was it. I was recovering even and still holding off all the threats just by the slimmest of margins. And one more Doomshroom to wipe the board again there, and that's it. No more target zombies in sight, all Jack-in-the-Box zombies dead, nothing can go wrong from here on out. With that, that's the last wave before the final wave in sight, and this concludes this insanely difficult journey of trying to be Unsalted on Brute Mode EX+. Even though the save scumming had to be pulled out to beat this level, I am happy that the effective amount of save scumming that was used was just one single time on the second flag. That's it for the Unsalted of Brute Mode EX+. A hell of a long level this was. Next time, we will be back for the remaining minigames that haven't been completed yet, including its Raining Seeds. Remember to subscribe to stay tuned, and thank you to our channel members for supporting the ROCCS channel. For now, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.